Hello, welcome to our Education and Childcare Career Toolkit introduction. In this webinar, we're going to take you through all the different areas within the toolkit and give you an idea of how they can be used and making the most of all those different areas for exploring, whether you're a member of staff or whether you're looking at this as a student. Today on the webinar is myself, Janet King, Sector Manager for Education and Childcare, and I'm joined by my colleague Stacey Mann, who is the Subject Specialist in Early Years and Childcare here at NCFE CASH. Today's webinar will introduce and explore CASH qualifications, because not only will the Careers Toolkit support the new T-level development, but will also be fundamentally and significantly relevant to the CASH qualifications in early years and childcare within our portfolio. We'll also discover each area of the Education and Childcare Careers Toolkit, spending a little bit of time on each feature and demonstrating how to use them to their best ability. So let's just reflect on the wider CASH portfolio. As we introduce CASH to you, CASH has been established since 1945 and has always been concerned with niche qualifications in early years, childcare, health and social care. Over time, that diversity has blossomed, evolved with current needs and responded to employer requests. The CASH qualifications within our portfolio stretch from entry level 3 right through to level 5. We have early years qualifications, including early years educator and early years practitioner qualifications. These are often known as full and relevant or licensed to practice qualifications, and there are many different approaches to the early years educator qualifications within our portfolio. We also have childcare qualifications, so children's care, learning and development qualifications for Northern Ireland, qualifications that look at level 1, caring for children, introducing our learners to the sector. We have technical qualifications such as the level 2 technical award in child development and care, and our technical applied generals, as well, of course, as our technical T-level and our technical early years educator qualifications. We also have a wide suite from level 1 to level 4 in supporting teaching and learning. Teaching and learning, of course, is also one of the occupational specialism pathways in education and childcare T-level. We're very proud of our heritage with playwork, and we have qualifications within our portfolio that look at playwork, again, across the levels. We have qualifications in health, from clinical and including dental nursing, as well as a wide range of health and social care qualifications. So our portfolio is diverse. Within the Education and Childcare Careers Toolkit, you will find information that will support you in early years, childcare, supporting teaching and learning, and playwork. Our colleagues will also be showcasing their Careers Toolkit for health science and for social care, where you will also be able to see a wide variety of qualifications within those career toolkits, and they will be able to assist in that wider reach within our CASH offer. So, today we're going to look at the introduction to the toolkit itself. Some background to this. It's always been important, of course, that careers information is accurate, that opportunities for recruitment, opportunities and inspiring information that is relevant and accurate represents the early years sector. One of the reasons that we wanted to develop a careers toolkit was to actually showcase the launch of the new technical level, the new T level in education and childcare. And it was very important to be able to make sure that the wealth of information that's available around this qualification was available in one space and was going to be available for staff, for students, for parents, and for careers advisory services as well, to be able to find things at the press of a button. So having everything together at your fingertips. There's also a very important theme running throughout this toolkit, and you'll hear more from Stacey about this soon, but we're also keen to make sure that men in childcare is given the platform that it so deserves and that it so should have within this sector. We try to make sure that there is that approach through everything that we do and everything that we include, from practitioner voice right through to research. Okay, so I'm going to pass over to Stacey now, and Stacey will take us through the toolkit, what it looks like, what it feels like, and how you can get the most of the information behind each of those features. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you, Janet. So to access the toolkit, you need to visit www.cash.org.uk. Across the top of the web page, you will find a toolbar where you will see the tabs Learners and Centres. We are going to be having the information duplicated for the Careers Toolkit in the Learners and the Centres tab. If you click on this tab, you will see the menu drop down and the Careers Toolkit option will appear for you to click on. Once you've accessed the website and found the Careers Toolkit option, you will be greeted with the home page. This is where you'll find the description of the toolkit and the introduction video from Janet King. And here it talks about the next stage of education, and it's for qualified practitioners and providers, and is there to signpost you to lots of different resources, useful resources, and to raise career aspirations. So let's take a look further inside the toolkit and the options that you have when navigating the pages. There are 9 windows to explore, and I would suggest taking some time to explore the ones that are relevant to you. You will no doubt have different reasons for accessing the toolkit, and so today we'll show you a brief overview of all of the windows. I'm going to pass you back to Janet to talk to you about the first 2 windows within the Careers Toolkit, which are the T levels and the progression map.
Thank you, Stacey. So here we can see on the slide T levels, marking a revolution in technical education. And that's exactly what the T levels intend to do. So within this feature, you'll be able to find out more about the T level in education and childcare. You'll be able to find out about the structure, about the content, about the assessment methodologies, and so on. You'll also be able to explore the specification. You'll be able to find links to our website to be able to take you through the qualification if you wanted to find out more. Importantly, behind this feature, you will also be able to just take some time to reflect on, okay, what is a T level? We're going to be different people accessing our toolkit. We certainly hope so. And you'll need to have things at different sort of stages within that T level information pack. So there'll be something there for everybody, from what is a T level, right through to how the T level in education and childcare has been structured. And it's been built very much in line with employer voice, with the Institute for Apprenticeships and Technical Education. And we're very proud to be able to deliver that on behalf of the Institute. So you can find out lots more about the T-level and what it is, what's the T-level, the different sorts of structure and content, and how the T-level is going to support students of the future in early years and education and childcare. On the second tile there, the second feature, we can see supporting seamless progression in education and childcare. So this is something that's absolutely valuable for every single student that's working within early years childcare, supporting teaching and learning and so on. Within our progression maps, students will be able to plot their different career journeys. They'll be able to look at the wide range of progression opportunities that's open. How inspiring this journey can be. The different careers, the different opportunities, the absolutely diverse range of occupations within early years, within childcare. This is something that can be used by students, by parents, by careers advisory staff, and of course by staff on taster days and all kinds of induction exercises and so on. It's a really useful go-to place. This careers toolkit will really hopefully bring together all different areas of the sector. As we've said, you're going to look at all those different features, but what's important, there's one word there that really sort of jumps out at me, and that is supporting seamless progression. 3 words. Those 3 words, supporting seamless progression, is what it's all about. It's about being valued within the occupation that you're in, being inspired along a career journey, and knowing the opportunities that are available to you. Thank you, Stacey.
Wonderful. And yes, I really love that supporting seamless progression. It's what it's all really about within this careers toolkit. So the other tiles that you have on the careers toolkit include Cash Alumni. Cash Alumni is an online professional membership network from the UK's leading provider of care and education qualifications, us of course, and it's free to access and has a whole host of material to support your own continuous professional and personal development. And that is wherever you are working currently within the early years sector, but also if you are teaching in the early years sector, and you can really access lots and lots of different things to support you with your teaching and to support you with your own CPD. In the In Conversation area is where all our webinars are recorded and they're all stored there. So you can also register onto the next ones that are being announced. Some of our webinars have had guest panelists, and we've discussed inspirational journeys on there and topics relevant to the sector. One of the things that we discussed really early on in the launch of our careers toolkit is men in childcare and the challenges of men coming into the career of early years and childcare. So that was really interesting and definitely one to watch. These are going to be added to continuously. So it's a tile to keep an eye on for further webinars, one that you can click on and return to and look back on some of the webinars that have been completed. And you could even use these webinars within your teaching. If you are a member of staff who is watching this, you can watch that together with your students. And the students, of course, if you are a student watching this, you can have a look at those webinars and get some continuous professional development from there, but also be inspired by some of the wonderful stories and some of the amazing research that we've discussed throughout those webinars. We then have a dedicated tile for success stories. These are from former Cash students. There's quite a few in there at the moment. There's lots of new ones always being added, and that will be replenished as we go along. Lots of inspirational stories from men in childcare. And we've got quite a few podcasts that are going to be going into there as well, where we've had conversations with lots of different students who have progressed, but also are progressing. So are in their current level 2 placements or level 3 placements, and just talking about their journey, which is really inspirational to all of us. I've really enjoyed talking to all of those people and finding out how they got to where they are now. The next tile is supporting students into higher education. So we've got the technical qualifications for your next steps within there. There's also some articles to various research in there and some information from the partners that we've worked with to create this toolkit, with lots of different universities who have very kindly contributed some of their research and some of their stories and their student stories. We also have Skills Miner on our Careers Toolkit, which is a revolutionary tool to help with your career. So it looks at unique skills analysis and shows you lots of different ways to access vacancies across the UK. You can use the virtual coach to support you with lots of different transferable skills, finding your career path. It's got sourcing jobs and apprenticeships on there, and it's a part of Cash Alumni, next to that, you can see Podcash as well, which is also part of our Careers Toolkit. Lots of conversations on there with industry experts, speaking about a range of subjects in early years, and lots of things that you can dip into for your own professional and personal development. And then finally, you have the continuing professional development folder, which within there you have a lovely toolkit for the art of upskilling, a useful guide for practitioners that's got hints and tips on maximising development opportunities. And again, there'll be lots of things, lots of resources added to this section for you to explore. So it's always going to be fresh, and it's always going to be revolutionary. It's always going to have lots and lots of different resources for you to access, and lots of advice and guidance when you're looking at your whole career journey. I'm going to pass back over to Janet now, who's going to go through how you can utilise the toolkit to its best potential.
Thank you, Stacey. And one of the things I just want to sort of build on what Stacey has said there in terms of the organic evolution of this revolutionary toolkit. And I think that's really important, just to reflect on that and think, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you and what's happening in your centre. We want to hear from your students. We want these webinars to be very much, student facing, something that will actually engage students in their teaching and learning, and be able to inspire them through some of the research that they'll find out about, and also by actually sharing some information perhaps via their tutors in terms of their own teaching and learning experiences. So please don't be shy, please do forward any information to us, and you'll be able to see our contact details at the end of this webinar. We really want to make this a partnership. We want it to be something that is growing, and it's organic, it's growing all the time, and it's got to be kept alive. And the only way we'll do that is by engaging with the people that really count, and that's the people who are listening to this webinar. So let's have a think about how the toolkit can be used to its greatest potential then. There are opportunities to use this toolkit, the webinars that Stacey's talked about, the podcasts that Stacey has mentioned. They are all available to you in terms of classroom-based session resources. And they're really useful to be able to focus around careers, to be able to introduce topic areas, to be able to signpost to further research, and so on. So useful for classroom-based sessions. They can also be used for career advice. and professional development? Absolutely. If you're working within that careers role, if you're a tutor and you're thinking about different diversities, different occupational roles, you're thinking about next steps with your students, there's some good places to act as starting points here. We're also happy to be able to engage with you and with our colleagues back at NCFE Cash to be able to find out more if there are universities that you want us to reach out to and so on. We want to very much support and help you with that. It's a source of continuous professional and personal development. It certainly has been for Stacey and myself as we've been listening to the wealth of expertise, the absolute brilliant experiences that we've had the privilege to share through the podcast, through the interviews, through the panels, through the research that we've received, by sort of looking at that core theme of men in childcare as well. It's been an absolutely rewarding professional and personal development journey and will continue to be so. It's available in different medias for flexibility, and we're also looking at how these things, can make sure that it's actually going to do what it needs to do for you, for the students. So open to ideas and suggestions here. The Careers Toolkit also has that progression map, so it's really good for career progression. That career things, that are on the Careers Toolkit, such as the career progression map, can be downloaded. Things can be used as discussion points, as group activities, as reflections around professional development and so on. We hope, like us, like Stacey and myself, that you'll also be inspired and your students will also be further inspired along their journey. It's been a tough time for everyone, and the early years and childcare sector has been impacted greatly through the pandemic that we are still recovering from. And with that, of course, it's very important to acknowledge that students now are probably the most resilient we've ever had. And it's important to build on that and to remain focused and to give the hope and the inspiration to help these students to achieve. We hope the Careers Toolkit will contribute to that. The Careers Toolkit as well is almost a signposting to different resources, but from one hub, from one place. And yes, there is an appreciation that this is early days, it's in its early stages, but this is an organic piece of work. We will ensure that it grows, that it stays relevant, that it stays purposeful, and we encourage engagement for both students and staff in terms of how we get that right. We will always represent centres, training providers. We will always represent employers, and we will always represent learner voices through everything that we do. Being able to look at recent research, whether that's from the Careers Toolkit or whether that's from wider reading on the alumni, whether it's listening to webinars, whether it's actually doing some further research yourself because of something that you hear or read about on the Careers Toolkit, it's absolutely fantastic for that to happen. Again, we welcome any feedback around that and how things may have been used in your teaching and learning sessions to be able to continue to inspire teaching and learning in an innovative and interactive, engaging way. Thank you so much for joining us on the webinar, and we do hope that you'll find aspects of this that are useful in your teaching and learning, and that your students will continue to engage in an inspiring way. Please do keep in touch. On the slide, you can see our contact details there for myself, Janet King, and for my colleague, Stacey Mann. I want to take this opportunity to thank Stacey for her overview and thorough introduction to the toolkit. Thank you very much, Stacey, and for everybody that's listening, thank you very much for joining us, and remember to keep in touch. Thank you.